Hi everyone, I am not teaching at the moment, so I went with option two, where I have to imagine I am teaching an intermediate class, some lexical chunks related to giving advice. This was slightly tough to really imagine a scenario of drilling because I feel like you can really alter your technique or strategy depending on how your students are responding. But this is what I think I would do, or think I am going to do, or think how it will go uh, if I were teaching this class. So I would have all of these written down on the board. I have presumed that they know the language in it, and I think I will do this pronunciation work just before a freer speaking activity. The first one is, if I were you, I'd eat healthy, for example. And in that one, I would focus on I were you and also I'd. I think this is important, this chunk, because that's how it's spoken naturally. It's also important that they know how it sounds and so that they can recognize it. And I think it will help them with fluency. Obviously, all of these will help them with fluency, and that's why we'll drill them to aid memorization of these lexical chunks. So this is why I would drill it. This is why I would choose this chunk, I or you. I would use a lot of hand gestures. I would highlight it on the board, and I would most probably do choral maybe a couple of times, and then individual. Just pick and choose, like in the video that we watched. Um, the second, with I would definitely review language. I would do a quick revision of what is I, what is a contraction. It's I plus would becoming I'd. I would definitely do that before we moved on. There was also, I had this thought of doing pair work, pair drilling for this one, where somebody would say half the sentence and um, the other one, student B, for example, would do I'd and finish the sentence. But I don't know if it's natural, and I don't know if I need it because it wouldn't get monotonous or boring just yet. But pair drilling would be an option for this kind of construction, I think. The next one is, have you thought about, where I would focus on the weak form you and thought about as two words fused together through liaison. Again, I would highlight it on the board. I might have to do back chaining for this one, just might, but I don't think it will be necessary. Um, Again, would be individual and choral drilling, maybe group drilling, where half the class says it and you have the other half class say it so that everybody also gets to listen to each other. I think that would be good for this one. The next one is, why don't you? I think this one, I'll have them figure it out. I will um, not explain to them what happens and have them sort of come up with, how would you pronounce this? And hopefully, I think they would come up with, why don't you? If they don't, I will say it and have them figure out what's actually happening between don't and you, and use the chart maybe for this one. And I think this would work because they know the kind of direction the exercise is taking, and they know they were working on connected speech. So I think they'd be tuned to these things when I read out, why don't you? Or they would already know it. It's also a very common one because you'll encounter it in several situations with haven't you, won't you, and they might be aware of it. And this one would probably do a choral drilling. Um, the next one was how about, and again, this would be a choral drilling, and I think they would be able to figure it out, and it would just basically reinforce what we are trying to do in this exercise. And again, I would do a choral drilling for this one. There's also the possibility of doing all these in context and spending more time on each one of them, where they complete sentences and say it very quickly, individually or in groups or in pairs, question and answers. But that would happen in the free activity to follow. So that's what I have. I think that's what would happen in a class. And yeah, I'm open to all suggestions and thoughts about this. And thank you for listening.